Yeah, Raising Heroes. In case you have lost track, this is Jubilee Church and our Proactive Parenting series. And we do want to raise some heroes. And Patrick brought up one time here recently that violence just may be the answer sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, the lie that's being propagated right now is that if guys would stop being guys, violence would stop. That's an illusion. And if you really think that, then I'm sorry, you're nuts. That there's no reality whatsoever to that. Mostly because there's sin in the world, and violence is going to erupt. And civilization demands people that can stand up to that violence with their own violence. Appropriate violence, necessary violence, not more than necessary. You can go all those places if you want, but evil needs to be confronted, and it's going to be heroic guys that do it. What women are geared for is to be the nurturing and raising the family, and we absolutely need that. So please, women, do that as much as you can, but don't keep the guys from protecting what you're building.
And learn how to use a gun, ladies. You may need to. I hope you don't. But this idea that a man should, of necessity, always be gentle and always suppress fight or flight type of urges is part of what's wrong. That's why wickedness just seems to keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
If you nip this stuff in the bud, you got a whole lot better deal going on. So I do have a story. It was suggested we might tell this, but we had a friend named Davy. Davy was a big boy and a stout boy and rather gifted with his hands. Sometimes his temper got the best of him, however. So we had Davy out on the boat one day, and the boat wasn't running right. And so we were in a no-wake zone trying to get out of the marina area, and I had to keep revving the boat up just a little bit. Just not a lot, but just enough to keep it from dying. So we go past the fueling dock right there by the marina, and the guy at the marina is yelling and pointing and carrying on ferociously and calling us everything but, gentlemen. And I understood because we were kicking up a teeny weeny wake, but not enough to get that excited about. But, so he was wanting to push his authority, if that's a lot of authority. I'm the marina monitor up in here, hey, And I understand, but at the same time, it was clear that we weren't trying to be speed demons or anything. We were driving a junky old boat, that's all. So anyway, my friend Davy is anxious, not kind of a little bit willing, but rather he is demanding that I take him to the dock, okay? And he's getting a little red of the face, okay? And so knowing Davy, he's a perfect gentleman today. No one to toy with, however, I am quite certain. But he wants me to take him to the dock so he can teach that dude some manners. He wanted to teach that dude to be polite and not be yelling and fussing and carrying on at two ladies and two gentlemen trying to enjoy a Sunday afternoon on the water.
Yeah.
I didn't let him beat the guy up. I probably should have. That'd have been something to watch. But anyway.
Well, and you're kind of pointing out necessary things to a true polite society is that if things get confronted and they're going to get confronted, then you're going to be polite in the way you conduct yourself. So there's not a reason for you to get confronted if you're getting out of hand. Back in the Wild West, they talked about an armed society was a polite society because people were ready to do violence when uncivilized things happen. And so you'd conduct yourself in a civilized way. Nowadays, when you can conduct yourself any old way, people are just getting,
crazy.
You like on the internet, email, and Facebook and all of that, when you're never going to get confronted for being uncivilized, it gets more and more and more uncivilized. That's not working for you.
No, we're getting on the verge of a lot of riotous violence in this country because nobody can be justly confronted for being evil. I'm talking about what they're calling freedom of speech, which is nothing but oppression. Do a little reading about Andrew Jackson, whose wife was insulted by an individual. And he told that dude, "Step outside, I'm going to kill you." And Andy took the first bullet, as the story goes, because he said, "Fine, do what you got to do, but I will kill you dead before I die." So he got hit first. He's laying on the ground with his potentially dying breaths, taking careful aim, slowly and surely. And he shot that dude dead. And Andy went on and lived many years after the fact. But realize what happened there was the man insulted Andrew Jackson's wife. Now, I don't know if it was a fat joke, or I know he didn't call her a slut, or Andy would have probably jumped on him and strangled him to death and put a blade in him right in the middle of the ballroom. But I'm telling you, whatever this slight was, heroic honor said, "If you're going to talk that way, I will kill you." And Andy didn't have the best of politics. I will have to hand you, he didn't have the best of politics. But he understood what it meant that if a wicked man, if a base man is allowed to just bully and be lecherous with his tongue, that society will in fact spiral downward into an abyss. And so honor dictated, they had a lot of honor, that this man isn't just going to be reprimanded, but what he said was, "I'm going to kill him. I'm not just going to have a duel. I will win the duel and I will kill him." And he did. We may need some more Andrew Jacksons, really. We need to fix his politics, but we certainly may need some more people with that kind of grit.